is when I started heading to Many Glaciers. And so into Many Glaciers, you can't see it. I'd have to zoom in, but there's actually a bear right there. It's like a color phase black bear. So it kind of looks like a sun blonde kind of. So that was on the drive-in, and then I decided to go hike Swiftcurrent Trail just to before it starts gaining elevation. And about a half mile, 3/4 mile in, I am startled by this bear pretty much. This is a black bear color phase, and I'm hiking, and I was actually closer to this bear. I'm hiking, and I'm about to say hi to this gentleman here, and all of a sudden I hear a lot of brush move, and I immediately freeze, go for my bear mace, which, by the way, if you're in bear country, carry bear mace, please. And I stop, and all of a sudden I got this bear looking at me, and I'm like, okay. And so I backed up a little bit, and she crossed and went into the woods. And I say she, which I'll get to, because here's a video of, again, I believe it's a she, and she's probably 300 pounds. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm just guessing. It was quite a shot. And so just a great experience. And then I say she because I was appreciating her. I was showing some people coming on the trail. And then as I'm about to step onward, I see another face looking at me. Here comes this bear. And you can tell by this one that this bear is a little smaller. And, kind of curious. I had to tell these people down there, hey, stop, we got a bear. And yeah, it was quite an experience, though. A very blessed experience. I'm thankful they didn't attack me. One of the reasons I think they didn't was because as I hike, I'm also being loud. I'm hiking out there alone. And so as I'm hiking, I'm yelling, hey, bear, Marco Polo, whatever, just being loud, letting them know where I am. And I'll show you why I'll tell you why that's important in a little bit too, with another experience I had with bears. So again, going down Swiftcurrent Trail, just some beautiful sights. There's multiple lakes, some ground squirrels that were just playing around. Something I'm not used to coming from the Midwest. We just have, squirrels that climb trees. Ground squirrels are something new. So I was like, oh, cool. And then, yeah, just hiking. So I went out and back. And so I was like, I'll take photos on the way back. But so, like I said, I went over, came back, and then I drove all the way up to Many Glaciers because I was trying to stay on this side. Since I was coming from the east, and then once I went over this way, I was going to more camp on the other side and do hikes in. So I went into Many Glaciers, and I did the Swiftcurrent Trail here. Went all the way till it started gaining elevation, then I turned around. So I pretty much went to Bullhead Lake and turned around. And so I saw the first, 2 bears, like, within this short distance. I mean, it wasn't far. And then as I come back, as you'll see, I run into a moose and a deer. And yeah, quite an experience. So if you want to see wildlife, I'll just tell you right now, Many Glaciers is the place to go. And it's just beautiful. And the nice thing, so again, another hike you could do if you're not as crazy in shape like I am. I love running and working out. I run a half marathon, every now and then just for fun. The Swiftcurrent Trail is nice and easy. Definitely recommend that. At Two Medicine, like I said, if you're going to do a hike, that's not bad at all. You could just hike around the lake, and you could even go up a little bit to like the upper lake, and there's a fall. They're not bad. That's if you're not a huge hiker, you're not big on it, but you want to get something in. The thing that kills most people is not so much the distance, it's the elevation. Mountains are no joke, so make sure you train appropriately. As you gain elevation too, the air gets thinner, it's harder to breathe. So anyway, back to the photos. So I'm on my way back again, just some beautiful waterfalls and lakes. And then, like I said, I ran into this moose. So again, the whole time I'm shouting, hey, bear. Like, I'm making noise. I'm not scaring these animals. I'm letting them know where I am. They're so used to people, they're not scared of people as much, which is good because you can get a close encounter. It's also bad because you can get a close encounter. And you want to make sure you respect them. So again, I'm giving this moose distance, and I thought it was a female, but it turned out to be a little male, as you'll see when I zoom in. And make sure you're giving these animals respect that they deserve. You don't want anyone in your personal space. They don't want anyone in theirs. So just be mindful of that. Yeah, so there was a moose, and again, just more photos. There's a deer way up in here. For those, deer aren't as big a deal to me. I just took a video, though, because coming from the Midwest, I see deer all the time. And then this is leaving Many Glaciers. And the next day I came back. So this next day, as I go through these photos, I did 2 different routes. So I went up to Grinnell Lake, and I was able to go only so far again because not all the snow had melted, and the trail to get up to the actual glacier seemed pretty dangerous. So I decided to turn around, and then I came down, and I actually went across here and around to the actual Grinnell Lake instead of the glacier. I went down to Grinnell Lake, went up to, or did I turn around there? No, I think I turned around there. Yeah, there was like a falls or somewhere here I went to. And then I turned around. Yeah, I turned around and then I came back along Lake Josephine and Swiftcurrent Lake, which I had an encounter with a bear, which I'll show you. And then after that, I went and hiked all the way up to Iceberg-like and back, and that was pretty much this next day. So again, this is the first lake, and then, yeah, just beautiful views. Going up to, so Grinnell Glacier's way up here, Grinnell Lake's right there. And again, just beautiful views. This one wasn't bad in terms of elevation. Well, not bad to my standards, I guess. But definitely a doable hike. I definitely recommend it. It's a beautiful hike. Yeah, and then you can do the extension like I did. You could do it out and back, but I definitely do recommend, I mean, since you're already, like, this is my mindset when I go hiking, I always try to make a loop. So like when you come back here, you know, you could go back the way you came, right? But I'm like, it's only a little bit extra to go this way, and at least you get some different views. And so that's what I did, and it paid off. So here's, again, I went up, went down, now I'm at Grinnell Lake, and of course my crazy self, I went and jumped in this glacial fed lake, quite cold. Which I don't think I mentioned it, but a lot of these lakes, like Avalanche, I remember, once I got my head under the water, I got a brain freeze. So that's how cold it was. So again, not for the faint of heart. But so again, just hiking back to towards where I started, and so this is where I encountered a bear. I was sitting, I met some cool people, started talking with them, sitting, took my break, and all of a sudden I see a bear just pop out, and it's swimming. And so you'll see here. This, I thought, I said it was a black bear at first. I wasn't sure. Then I let them kind of make me think it was a grizzly. And so I was like, okay, I guess it's a grizzly. Now coming back, no, I think it's a black bear just by size. And you can see even here, but now the way she steps in, she looks much bigger here. And so I thought she was a grizzly, and then she has a little cub. There it goes. And so I actually pursued her down the trail that I had just come, because I was afraid she was going to maul someone. Not people, unfortunately, are not loud enough, and I don't know. It's not that you're going to scare the animal. I promise you. It's like you're not going to scare them away. If you scare them, that's how they hurt you. So I want to say that spot was somewhere between Lake Josephine and Swiftcurrent Lake, if I'm not mistaken. Sitting around here somewhere. So, but I actually pursued her down the trail, and I was escorting 2 ladies who were afraid to go once I told them there was a bear, because I was hoping they would go down and warn people and be loud. They were scared. So I went with them. We were being loud, you know, hey, bear, hey, mom, whatever. We got through to where I thought she was, and I told these 2 ladies, continue on. And then I turn around and I see mom looking at me. She's standing up. She's easily 6 foot, maybe 7, on her hind legs, and she's looking at me at 30, 40 yards. And I said, hey, what are you going to do? And so I had and the whole time I'm walking, you know, we're going slow, making noise. I've got my mace in my hand, just because, again, I don't want anyone to get hurt, her or people. Last thing I want is see a bear put down from people being stupid. So she turns, goes back in the woods, and I'm like, okay, cool. And so I told the ladies going that way, hey, make sure you warn everyone going. And then I went back through and continued on my way. And as I went through, I warned people as well, especially this one family who they had little kids running ahead. And I stopped them. I said, whoa, there's a bear ahead. Like, no. So that's the thing in bear country. If you're going with kids, especially, keep them close. Keep them behind you, really. But again, that bear, it was looking at me from behind. So, and I passed it, and I didn't even see it. I was looking for it. I was making noise, and I didn't see it as we went past it. I turned around, there it is looking at me. So you never know where they're at. Now, I'm not trying to scare anyone from going to places like this, but I'm just saying, be aware, be smart. So continued on, like I said, and then this is going up to Iceberg Lake. Beautiful views. It's called Iceberg Lake for this reason. There's still ice on it. And of course, yes, I jumped in. But quite a beautiful lake, and absolutely recommend that hike. After the first set was definitely difficult. I was definitely feeling it. And again, the 100-degree heat didn't help. So like I said, know yourself, pace yourself, take your time. And then coming down, Okay, so this is the extreme day. This is the next day. So I went back to Logan's Pass. So I'm done at Many Glaciers. I've done 2 Meadows. So now I'm going to the Sun Road again. And I have no intentions to go back to the east side. I'm going to stay west. So this is at Logan Pass. There's some sheep like before, just at a different spot. And this is where I did my crazy hike. So I'll get to how it all happened. But I started at Logan's Pass. I parked my car up there. This is why I bring my bike. I rode my bike down to the loop. And at the time, I thought they weren't running the shuttle service, and I wanted to do this hike the way I wanted to do it. And that's what the nice thing about a bike, gives you some freedom. So I rode my bike down the mountain, which was amazing, and death-defying. And then I hiked up the loop and to Swiftcurrent Overlook, and then and then over on the High Line to Grinnell Glacier Overlook, down, and then to Logan's Pass. So it was all uphill, which is what I prefer over downhill, just because I'd rather have the pain on my respiratory system than my joints. And on the hike up, though, as you can see, there's flowers. There's this deer that didn't care. Then I'm at the chalet that you get up to is pretty cool. They have food that you can eat up there at a certain time, I forget, but you can buy like drinks and stuff. And then another marmot. And again, so I'd already been to the chalet, and now I'm hiking up to Swiftcurrent Overlook. And again, just gorgeous views. There's the overlook out, the fire lookout. Now, one thing, as you're at higher elevation, there's animals, they're salt deprived, like this chipmunk, and it's licking me for the sweat for the salts. So just let it happen. But so when you're up at Swiftcurrent, this is Many Glaciers. So yesterday or 2 days, whatever. I hiked this flat trail. You can kind of see it, but that's the trail I did. That's where I saw the bears. And so now you're overlooking it. And then the other direction is so again, Many Glaciers, and the other way is like Lake McDonald and all that. So on my way down, you could see Granite Park Chalet. There was some sheep on the way down. This video loads. So, and I didn't see them coming up. So again, you'll never know where you'll see animals. So there they are moving there. And as I hiked down, got to closer, there they are again. So this is, by the way, this hike I did this day, I don't recommend this at all. I found out later on, I gained a total of like 7,000 feet over like 17 miles or something. It was insane. If you're gonna do something like that, you've got to have you got to be headstrong, because I mean, it was tiring. And the other thing for me too, and I don't know what your beliefs are, but for me, prayer helped me through it. It's helped me through a lot of these trips when I'm tired, and like no matter what when music doesn't do it, when I can't dig deep, like I just start praying, and even breaks sometimes don't do it. It's just start praying, and that's what does it for me. So this is up to Grinnell Glacier Overlook. So again, I'm going back to the map here. So here's Logan's Pass right here. So I went down the road on my bike all the way down to the loop. I hiked this trail up, and then up to Swiftcurrent Overlook, came down, and then came back this way up the garden wall to Grinnell Glacier Overlook, down, and then continued all the way to Logan's Pass. What a hike. I was trashed by the end of it, that's for sure. But I'm someone who, as I go, I'm like, well, it's there. When am I going to be back? So at the overlook, there was a mountain goat that was hanging out. I'm told if you go to Mount Brown Outlook, there's a great chance to see mountain goat. That's over by Lake McDonald. I never got to that, but something.